Yo, guys.
Actually, oh shit.
No, no, no. You're good. You do whatever you need to do, man. How's it going, everyone? So we got Pills. I see Aziz playing UE4 or following the stream. Might wait for a couple more people to show up. Stuff. When is it starting? King, we have started now. All right. Let me try to make sure everything's pulled up correctly on my end.
Nothing special. Don't expect too much. This is two white guys talking into their webcams, which is par for the state of online discourse anyway.
That's right. Yo, David. Thank you so much. The man, the legend, the myth. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Yeah, no. This has been a dude, Pills. This has definitely been the most requested collab or guest that I've. It's been everyone. When are you having Pills on? When are you having Pills on? I'm like, time.
Honored. This is the first content I've ever done that's not on my own channel. My first interview too. So you gotta go easy on me too.
No, dude, we're fine. It is pure laid backness here. Hey, Rezhel?
Flexed bicep.
Yeah, flexed bicep for the win. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, David and Rezhel. I appreciate it so much. All right, so I guess we can probably get going. So I suppose you guys all know who PlasticPills is. I was asking you beforehand what we could probably go into, and we'll skip the biographies. But so with
it's a lifestyle brand, we could talk about the lifestyle brand.
the lifestyle brand, we could.
For Suits.
Yeah, I guess we could. That would give away the mirage. That would fuck us over. Just kidding. So what okay. So I'm sure a lot of people are interested as well. What sort of got you into theory, right? There's always a story there. There's a little bit of a story there. That's a broad question, but I figured we'd start there.
Someone's saying my mic's real quiet.
Oh, okay. There we go. How's it sound, guys? I'm just turning you up on Discord.
Check. Mic check.
Sound perfectly fine on my end. Chat, how's it going? How's it sound?
What's up, chat?
There we go. Perfect. That's perfect.
You bunch of dorks on a Friday afternoon. I guess it's COVID. What else are you gonna do?
That is true. Nope.
My chat's 90% cool till they're like, "Hey, when's your video on Nick Land coming out?"
Dude,
the video on Nick Land is not coming out. You make a video on Nick Land.
All right, I will. That's a deal because I get asked to make fucking Fang Numina video all the time. Have you read Nick Land? I haven't.
I think he was in a reader that I had.
Oh, okay.
No, I wouldn't crack that. That seems like not a total waste of time, but there's a lot that you could read that's not Nick Land.
Yeah, no, definitely. I also he's made a little bit of a nice transition over to really weird. I think really weird politics. Like his I don't even know what the fuck he does or what his views are. But then again, too, I don't even know his original views really because I've never read Fang Numina and I don't know much other than he is sort
he
of.
worked with Mark Fisher at the CCRU.
Did he really?
They were bros.
Damn. Okay, I didn't know that. Shit. All right. Well,
now he's just like a troll. Looks like.
That's a little bit.
But anyway, someone else make a video Nick Land because I'm not doing that.
Right.
Maybe when he dies, we'll do the legacy of Nick Land, where it all went wrong. You know.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. I'm pretty sure Land. I know he's like. Isn't he kind of like a weird neo Heideggerian? But like he actually takes Heidegger's like fascism seriously now. I believe.
I don't think it's a Heideggerian fascism as much as like. I shouldn't talk about this. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about. But it's mostly like AI, China, capitalism. It's gonna take over everything. So we should just insult people on Twitter for pronouns.
Oh, that's just about every. Okay, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, that fits the Twitter bill for sure. Mike Hasha. Oh, hey, Mike. How's it going, dude? Someone once told me he got racist when he became an addict, and oh, wow. Okay, well, no shit. All right. So, but also, I think I turned up your mic. I think everything should be good. Good to go. So, I didn't know. Did you want to go into some of your initial, like, your college experience going into theory and continental philosophy?
Well, I didn't go to. Well, when you say college in Canada, it means something
Oh,
different.
okay. Oh, gotcha.
College is like
University.
community college.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
so that, I mean, that threw me off. We don't have to focus on that. But I went to university in the first place so that I would never have to work construction again.
Ah,
That was the motivation behind that.
gotcha. Okay. Kind of same actually in a way. Um, yeah. I did painting and carpentry. Not fun. Very tough.
Yeah. Discovered philosophy there, but it was a communications major, and I also did a double major with philosophy because I liked philosophy. And so the career path was to do marketing. Graduated, did marketing, was like, holy fuck, I cannot do this with my life. Um, then said, I need to go back to school, then went back to school and did some more of that.
Cool. All right.
And now I am a poster, a content poster.
Yeah. No, I mean, tis the story of pretty much a lot of content creators, I suppose. That is, in 30 years, we'll all be posters or people, or you're just gonna die, I guess. The way capitalism's unfolding, I suppose. But
Also, podcast producer, which I have no training for whatsoever, but it happens. And you've had basically 3/4 of the podcast on here as of today.
yeah, no. I've had Matt. I've had Victor. I need to get.
Oh, eye roll. I hope they're watching. I hope they're watching. No, you're missing the smart one, and Eric is the smart one.
Eric's the smart one. All right, and then there. Okay, all right.
I'm indispensable to the podcast only because I know how to use the software, but otherwise, I'm the least important voice there.
Oh,
Mostly, it's like babysitting cats. It kind of, I mean, you can kind of hear that. I'm trying to steer the conversation, get it onto a path, and I'm listening to the listeners' ears because other people need to tone down the verbiage. You know.
yeah, that really. Yeah, you kind of are the producer slash moderator of the podcast for sure.
It's like, please don't use specialized terms, please, and then yeah, that it works for like the first half.
Right.
But this here is my first time where I'm actually capable of just, not playing a role. All I have to do is respond, and that's my only purpose in the universe for the next hour, which is kind of relieving
Yeah.
because I don't have to be performing and being like, hey, welcome to Plastic Pills. Do you want to know what Lacan thought about social media? No, I can just respond to you. Thanks. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. You said I remember you saying they were like you got into a lot of YouTube because of cuck philosophy and shit like that, right?
Yeah, that was watching Cuck Philosophy's videos was the thing that made me think, oh, there's like people that do theory on YouTube, but I don't know any other YouTubers really. And I don't watch any videos on YouTube anymore. I watch the first 5 to 10 minutes of every one of your videos.
Hell yeah! All right. No, that's reasonable enough. No, it's actually kind of funny because I'm kind of in the same boat. When you start making content, it's like it's harder to consume content as well. In a way, that's how it is for me. A lot of people in chat will be like, "Oh, this streamer, this or this video that." I'm like, "I'm sorry, guys. I don't actually really watch much YouTube anymore, really." Yeah.
Yeah, something about going behind the curtain just I don't know, it loses its mystique.
Kind of. Well,
I
also
don't know
too.
if that's true at all. I'm just
No,
trying to invent a cause for this.
no. That is kind of true though. Like okay. There's something else too. I've kind of realized there are a lot of kind of dishonest content creators too. Like the more you like, I didn't even realize like how um oh, what was it, who was it, like, I think before we even started streaming, I said, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to start making fucking Sean videos because my stuff keeps getting copyrighted. It was kind of funny. I've heard people say before that like they're patrons of Sean. I haven't watched any of his videos. I'm sure they're good, but they say like half his Patreon feed is saying like, guys, videos coming soon, it's just taking a long time to make. I know, I know damn well if he puts a single fucking slide with the occasional PNG, that video has got to take so little time. But then of course he goes to his Patreon, and I don't know. I've noticed that it's like an entire really weird half baked like industry full of people who are, um, I don't know. Like I've definitely noticed. Yeah, you definitely remove that curtain and that mystique and stuff like that for sure.
If there was no visuals, a video would take me 1 day.
Yeah,
Well, 2 days. 2 days. The script is not that easy.
yeah. Yeah, no, there's scripting. Usually it goes like scripting for me. I record. I'll do I have an analog channel strip processor, whatever. There's just some baked in effects and stuff. So that cuts down on the processing, like post production time. And then I'll go into Audition and do that stuff. But that's the easy part. The hard part's going into Premiere and then into After Effects and doing all that. That stuff takes for fucking ever. And then really I'm sure you agree, the hardest thing is like the visual, like in your mind, like what to implement into there. Implementing it's not too bad, but thinking about what to do, you're like, okay, like cutting pieces out and how to implement it on the timeline. That's hard for me.
Yeah, the time is all spent in the After Effects stuff, which is the thing that differentiates. I don't want to drag anybody. It differentiates some channels from other channels. And that's how I first found you. I think you commented on one of my videos when you had like 600 subs
Less, for sure.
and I had like 4,000 subs.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. It was your
Old times, man. Let's reminisce.
I know, dude. It's changed a lot really, really quick. That's for sure. Which is good. Like that's that's a good thing. But I think it was your Heidegger video. I watched some of your I watched some of your videos and stuff and really, really liked them. This was actually before when I first started making videos. It was like a little bit less focused on what I wanted to do. Right. So I made some sort of like video essays that you normally would see on like BreadTube and stuff. And then I realized that like, I mean, I could probably do that occasionally, but also like everyone fucking does that, and I'm pretty uninteresting. And so I figured, I think probably you came to similar conclusion. Might as well like actually implement something you're interested in. And at that point, I was really starting to get into, about 2 years ago, I started really getting into theory and philosophy. And so I was like, you know what? If I know how to make videos, I want to make content, I enjoy doing it, enjoy the process. I'm going to make fucking videos on theory because no one does it except like you or Cuck Philosophy.
Well, I started. This is a. I started. I think I've said this publicly before, so it's okay. I didn't think that I could make actual theory videos, but then as it went on, I was making these like cultural application videos and theory videos, and kind of going back and forth. And nobody gave a shit about the cultural application videos.
Yeah.
So that kind of gave me respect for the audience in a different way, saying like, oh, they want explanations of something that's difficult.
Right.
And I don't know if they're just coming here to do their homework or whatever. I think the culture industry video that I have keeps getting viewed like consistently because people have to write papers on it. So as a prof, that's real frustrating because when you use turnitin.com, it only checks for text. So I think I'm writing a lot of undergraduate papers for them. But I prefer trying to explain difficult things than trying to be like entertaining.
Yeah.
Because obviously that part didn't work so well for me.
Yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it's funny. I have the same experience. My Heidegger videos continually do that. And fuck it, that's cool. Honestly, I'm actually happy with that. But yeah, no. I mean, that sort of, I think that's sort of a good thing, right? There's at least like a group of people that really want to engage with the text and content at hand. And I think video is a good medium that hasn't even like reached its peak capacity, I suppose the best way to put it. Like there isn't a lot of channels. And I would imagine that theory, I don't know if it's because I'm now invading the space, but it seems like the entire sphere of people, it seems like theory in general online is growing a bit. Do you think, does that sound right? Or is that like placebo?
A fear of theory?
Oh no, theory. The just the theory itself and philosophy is kind of growing online a little bit. I kind of have that feeling, but I don't know if that's biased because me and you are.
No, well, I mean, I don't spend as much time on the internet as you, and you spend less than many people, I'm sure. But my hypothesis behind that would be there's this big political jouissance, especially in Western countries, because of Bernie, because it's like, oh, America is doing this Bernie thing. Leftism is making a comeback. Then that stopped, so you have nothing else to do. And it seems to me that still jouissance would be replaced by what are all the ideas behind the people that we're talking about Bernie are, because a lot of them are, intelligent and probably, I would guess it starts with Marxism for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just do Marxism, then there's that's a crack, and then there's a whole bunch of stuff underneath the plate that's more interesting than just reading Capital.
Yeah, 100%. Like that's actually kind of why I the beginning of my channel, I didn't touch Marxism at all. And I've started getting into it because that's people's introduction, and then they realize they'll read some later critical theory, and people who actually, that I say Marxism is like people who actually contend with Marx's like thought and philosophy and their theory, like around dialectical materialism, materialism. I gotta say, like 60% of Marxists probably don't. They have no fucking idea what that means. And I suppose in some context, in a purely political context, it's okay. I don't quite like that. But I think people see like critical theory as like the correct process, and it gets really interesting from there.
People are asking you how I am as a professor. I'm the cool professor, or I'm the professor who tries to be cool.
Yeah. No,
I can say I never give late marks, but I definitely don't pass everybody.
Yeah. I see Mike. Mike says it's interesting to think about this question in the context of right-wing institutions adopting Deleuzian theory in their training. Right-wing institutions. How's that work? Like, there's so much Deleuze that I suppose that I don't know what angle. Pills, you're the big Deleuze guy. Is that, I've never heard that before, really. That's interesting. Deleuze does that. It seems like the exact opposite of like right wing.
Well, Land does the right wing reading of Deleuze.
That's true. Okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Like the IDF.
I mean, he wasn't doing it before, but he kept the same language that he was using in the CCRU and then continued it. And now he talks about, and there's another guy that's Underland, Moldbug, I think is his something tag. I'm not versed on anything of the right wing because I think it's boring as hell. So
yeah, I've read a little bit like right wing Hegelianism, but that's really about it. I don't think there really is a lot of like right wing theory. I mean, there is.
Oh, but come on, they own everything. Right wing Hegelianism is like.
Really?
Is politics. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like the application of practical politics, right? I don't think they own like the actual theory, like theory sphere or anything like that. I'd consider that's one of the rare things that I kind of consider like a lot of continental philosophy, its application and reality can be quite conservative, right? When we see politics, but that's why I kind of consider philosophy is kind of radical in a lot of ways, right? So, in the context that I use that, or I mean, is that look, our institutions are pretty fucking reflective of like English, like 1600s Enlightenment philosophy. Like we haven't even fucking hit like everything past Kant is quite is I want to say like foundational shaking to some degree, right? Like if it was to be seen in reality.
Well, the origins of this whole like Prager, is it Prager, whatever it
PragerU.
is.
Yeah.
That whole thing, to my mind, is the descendant of this group of Straussians in the 80s and early 90s. And Leo Strauss is a right-wing interpreter of Hegel. You know Fukuyama,
Right.
End of History, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
that's what I
that
figured with yeah, right-wing Hegelianism.
that whole thing comes out of right-wing Hegelianism, but these people were like in the Reagan White House. It's not like theory is
Oh,
separate
really?
from politics in that sense. They were the original funded think tanks for like right-wing policy.
I did not know that. Holy fuck. I didn't know that at all actually.
So Alan Bloom was like the public voice of this. And you can see it when Alan Bloom's like decrying feminists and black students in the 60s, saying like we were doing the job of the university, which is very conservative according to him, and
Mhm.
then all these people kept creeping in and taking away our Plato and making us read the non-canon literature.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Mike. No, yeah, that sounds right. Mike says yes. Strasser Def got a lot of political power often. Yeah, for sure.
But Strauss was pretty cool with the left-wing Hegelians too. Like he was more honest than his intellectual descendants are, we could say.
Yeah. Well, I see. I see sort of there's like a congruent like sort of conservative community argument, I suppose. Like, but that a lot comes from, and I don't know if I can't speak on that too much. I've only read portions, but like the philosophy of right. I'm more interested in Hegel's sort of process and like dialectics, but that's in the phenomenology.
The dialectics is the phenomenology.
It's in the phenomenology and like the fucking Encyclopedia of Sciences or whatever. But like actual Hegel's,
Yeah, the encyclopedia.
yeah, is
Well,
it
it
not?
starts
Yeah,
with the logic.
right.
Yeah, the phenomenology of spirit is like the skin of Hegel. That's not.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
But that's the stuff that all the French people took because of a dude named Alexander Kojève,
Uh-huh.
who introduced all these homies to Hegel, Sartre, Merleau-Ponty, Lacan, and all of them were like young grad students, and they were listening to this guy talk about Hegel. So a lot of the reason that Hegel gets so much hate from the French left, Derrida, Deleuze especially, is because of the interpretation that Kojève had of Hegel only using the phenomenology of spirit. So very proper Hegelians will tell you, no, you have to read the encyclopedia properly to get Hegel properly.
I've heard the same thing. Yeah, I actually.
But
I have
Hegelians are annoying. They're annoying people, I gotta say. Sorry to any Hegelians if you're in the chat.
Gotcha. What's annoying about Hegelians? I guess you're probably more of a Deleuzian and like Lacanian, but I don't. Lacan's pretty structuralist, yeah.
No, he's post-structuralist. I
Is
would
he?
say. But
Okay.
no, Deleuze hates Hegel.
Right.
And for Hegelians that interpret it correctly, and by that I mean like the left side of Hegel, then they say it's not fair. Don't hate on Hegel because everything he said was always right. So at least in the academy, you have very dedicated Hegelians.
Gotcha.
But this is the problem with priests. You can't trust priests of any ism.
Okay. Gotcha. No. I kind of feel that a little bit. Mike said, this is something, goddamn, we talk about a lot on here. Mike says, I know you probably share my frustration with the bastardization of the word liberalism in the U.S. Fuck yeah. In a lot of ways, right? And then there's like this, it's not just like just liberalism, but like terminology and sort of like I want to say like theoretical like backdrops themselves sort of just are just what are it's just like a giant simulacra at this point. Nothing really means anything. So yeah, I mean, and it's hard to pin down exactly what anything would mean in its totality, but yeah, there is certainly some weird online sort of, I don't know, weird dialogue. Pills, what do you but how do you take the online sphere and how theory is applied?
Can I respond to Brett 1 second?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Brett just said, this is terrible news to hear considering I just bought Phenomenology of Spirit. You only want to read the Phenomenology of Spirit unless you want to be a Hegelian, because that's by far the most influential work. Anything you read that is talking about Hegelianism is probably talking about that book. But the very serious Hegel scholars, and only them, say, excuse me, you're misinterpreting. And the true Hegelians also think that Marx's interpretation of Hegel is complete bullshit also. Which it kind of is. But that's neither here nor there. So
Right. What way would they say, because I know like Marx obviously kind of flipped Hegel, but what interpretations?
No, Marx said that he flipped Hegel.
Oh, okay. But then Hegelian scholars say that he actually really didn't.
No, he says that like if Marx had understood what Hegel means by nature and history, he never would have said, "Oh, we need to flip this on its head in the first place."
Oh, okay.
Because the dialectic does not occur without, I guess you could call it the materiality, but it doesn't occur without history anyway. There's not like separate realms of reality, which is what people who disagree or people who take the Marxist side of anti-Hegelianism think. I think I'm touching on this in my next video, so
cool. All right.
But no, I think we all need to learn, everybody who's on the internet especially, and I'm new to the internet. I've only been on, well, that's not true. My Twitter account is like 11 years old, but I posted once per year until last year. But I'm now trying to hone the skill of atheism. That's my new goal for the rest of COVID.
Hone the new skill of atheism, like Christopher Hitchens shit?
No.
I don't know what that means.
No. None of this, what are they called? The Four Horsemen?
The intellectual.
The problem is not whether God exists or not, because that is a stupid fucking discussion.
It is.
Whenever it starts. Like, does God exist? Depending on how you intend the question, either of course God exists, or obviously no, he doesn't exist, that's impossible. But that's a bad way to interpret atheism. The problem with God is that God doesn't know that he doesn't exist. So we have to make sure that God knows that. But he still has all these avatars and priests running around doing his bidding, especially on the internet. Like, goddamn, it's a region. It's a polytheistic priest fight. So this is why I think atheism is a learned skill. Because goddamn, there's nothing worse than a priest.
Yeah.
People hate cops, but you should hate priests, because priests write the rules. Nietzsche had that right.
Yeah. No, in a lot of ways they do. And then, obviously the process of history, people can't give up those traditions, To hone the skill of atheism, De Spinoza podcast, God is Nature. Thank you, David. Yeah, thank you so much. I guess my stream thing is delayed a little bit.
But skill of atheism. Do Spinoza podcasts.
I was gonna say which one in chat. I saw something. Michael Herscheid says, "Why is it stupid?" So I think he's referring to like the atheism thing. I find the whole atheism debate thing, like the old YouTube phenomenon, like that was the peak intellectual thing. I find that just stupid because it's just like how Like it is just the most surface level subject matter in my mind. And then there's obviously this really weird worship of people like Sam Harris and stuff like that who are like just I don't, they're not stupid, I don't think, but like they're not they definitely don't contend with anything really that serious.
No, real atheism would be hunting down the priests wherever they are. You know.
All right. So I remember you said earlier, you're like, well, not remember you say. I think this is something you do say quite frequently. You don't talk about politics. I'm actually super curious about that as well. I'm sure everyone else is. So why don't you talk about politics?
Because political philosophy is not philosophy.
Damn. Okay.
I hope Victor and Matt aren't in the chat.
That's definitely not going to make them too happy. So it's the fact that it's not philosophy. That's why.
No, that's not why I don't talk about it. Like you stream on politics. I talk about things that are not philosophy.
Yeah, no,
philosophy
sure.
is not like the measure of things that are good in the world. That's silly.
Yeah.
But what's my current? I keep changing my line on this, but my current line, at least, fresh off my brain, is that I think Plato knew that philosophy or politics wasn't philosophy, because Socrates did not get killed; he committed suicide. And when philosophy deals with power, at least political power, that should be the inevitable end, is that the philosopher has to die. And that's from the guy who invented, the Western metaphysical version of philosophy. So the one thing that I hope everyone can understand is that I might be wrong about this, by the way, it's a working thesis. Politics was, and only ever has been about power. But for whatever reason, now politics is also thought to be a matter of opinion and orthodoxy and culture. But for those who deal in politics, which is power, that's a blessing, because the classes are at war with each other on Twitter while power just keeps, going. So what I just think any debate about politics is on this platform, on whatever platform, is that it's armchair quarterbacking. It's exactly the same thing as a guy in a fucking Patriots jersey yelling at the TV that the players on the screen aren't doing what he wants them to do, and then going to work or calling into his sports talk radio station, and saying the coach should be fired, they need a new defensive line, blah, blah, blah. And that's all that politics on the internet is. And it makes me actually feel insane that I'm the only one that thinks this, apparently. But this is, of course, why you need priests, because the priest's function is to comfort you in your powerlessness by making it seem like you matter despite your powerlessness. This is the perennial priestly function, is to say, don't look at this world, look at the next one. And we have a different next world now, which is go argue about it on Twitter. So by giving you these battles to fight, by giving you enemies, by giving you camps, you can be a Marxist or a social democrat or a, I don't know, utilitarian anarchist or whatever, a policy expert. What should AOC be doing? This is the thing we should be talking about. What is AOC supposed to be doing? That's like coaching the Patriots from your living room. It's fantasy football.
It's definitely libidinal politics for sure, right? It's just pure jouissance.
And even talking about, okay, what system would be best? You don't have a say in what system is best. And it's not even like AOC doesn't even have power. Politicians don't even have power. The power's elsewhere. And whatever we're doing down here below, they're happy with us not talking about or doing anything about actual politics. So that's why once the election thing happened, then I was like, I'm signing off, taking the keys out of the ignition, and I hope I lose them. But again, that's what my friends like to talk about, so I can be pulled into it.
I feel I don't actually like really disagree really much with anything. Maybe I can poke at it though. What does that sort of like lead to nihilism though? To me, I see someone could make that point, but
it only leads to nihilism about the things that you can't do anything about. Someone called me black pilled like on a stream a while ago, and it pisses me off so much because I'm saying you have power over the things that you don't, or that you have power over, and you don't have power over the things that you don't have power over. And pointing that out, that there's a distinction between things in the universe that your selfish little ego doesn't have power over, is not saying black pilled. It just means you have to do something different than the thing that you're doing, which is telling AOC what to do and talking about how the Republican Party is, I don't know, whatever the Republican Party is these days, you know.
Sure.
It's just so if you're this is the big difference though, I think. The big difference is that the guy who's yelling at the TV about the coach not putting in his favorite player, that guy knows that he has no influence and that it's just for fun. That guy isn't being entertained. But people who do internet politics don't know that it's just entertainment. They think that they're doing something real. And that is where I just like, I have to, again, turn the ignition off and lose the keys. And now I'm just on this big stint about art and how you make stuff to express power in a way that has nothing to do with representations of power.
Gotcha. And then those very you said that pointing out the separation of where you don't have power. So like politics is that sphere you definitely don't have power, yeah? Just to pin down your argument.
I mean, yeah, you have a vote every 2 to 4 to 5 years, depending on your country. But that vote means nothing on its own.
Sure. Yeah, no. I mean, that's sort of I definitely talk so clearly, I mean, even ironically, even discussing this kind of maybe is a discussion of politics in some abstract sense, but that's sort of like, I don't know. I don't think I can avoid it because like my personal, like, you know, what I do on YouTube, like make videos and shit is like descriptive, right? Like, and try to describe shit. But like what I am interested in is actually like sort of political communicative, like outreach, like communication. Cause, I don't know, and in that sense, like I don't think I can like avoid it, right? But like I think what you're pointing out, it's sort of like the sort of like psychoanalytic thing, like what you think you are doing, you are not doing, right? So you know, like the people sitting on the fucking couch, you know, screaming.
I'm definitely not calling you out.
No. It's
more like I wouldn't call the football guy out for yelling at the TV because the guy likes the show. So yeah, you should like yell at the TV if that's the thing that's fun for you.
Well.
And it's probably not you that I have a problem with, but there's people who believe that that's the real world. Like tweeting is your job. This is fucking this is the terrifying part of it.
Oh, sure. It's all catharsis.
Brought to you by Twitter.
Yeah.
But it's not even cathartic. It's just like getting pleasure from what to me seems like actually nothing. It's like, no, I don't have an analogy.
No, I don't. I think some people. I actually feel shit a lot like more agnostically. So you do not have to feel like you're calling me out whatsoever. If anything, I like having my views a little bit disrupted. But
well, didn't you have I didn't watch it. I don't think, but I saw the thumbnail. It was a fascist turned into a Marxist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like. I don't know if that guy was cool or not. Whatever, I didn't watch it. But
he's very well read.
What more evidence do you need that politics is a purely aesthetic decision that you can be like, oh, on Monday I'm a fascist, and then I like this better. So on Thursday, then I became a Marxist. Like this is taking off your what's the team? You take off your Patriots jersey and then you put on a Buccaneers jersey. Ain't no thing. There's no like there's no tangible difference, and this is the thing that I'm stressing, politics is power. There's no tangible difference. The only thing that changed was your doxastic interpretation of the world. And on the internet, this is the thing that matters is, no, I'm an anarchist. No, I'm a, all the labels in the Twitter bio. And I feel like I'm the only person who thinks that everyone else is insane. Usually when you think that everyone else is insane, that means that you're insane. Or you're in a cult.
Political in nature?
So I think we're in a cult. We're in a culture politics cult.
No, yeah. Well, we'll respond, David. Thank you, David, for the donation. We'll respond to that too.
Man, David is always up in here. He's on my stream too. Like,
I know this man is like the most giving.
I hope he also like buys himself some pancakes. So.
I hope so too. But I
hope his children aren't starving because he's sponsoring our live streams.
No, I remember David saying one time in chat, David's actually, I believe you said you're an engineer, but then he also, this is pretty crazy. You also did like a law degree too, like, or you're doing it right now. There's something weird, like you're getting your license as well, like your bar license, something like that. And you're doing like sort of like an activist law sort of thing. So like David's a busy fucking dude. But yeah, I remember him saying that once. But I was gonna.
Wait, I want to respond. Some people in the chat are saying like, okay. I think that I'm the only sane person. I don't actually think I'm the only sane person, but it's like not. And it's probably because I don't spend a lot of time on the internet, or because people who say the same thing that I'm saying aren't very popular, because it's not as popular as saying AOC should have forced the vote, whatever. So I don't think I'm actually the only person, but what it takes at least to get to some degree of popularity is to actually pretend like this whole pantomime is actually happening and actually real. And that seems to be like a better road to success than saying, why the fuck is everybody insane? So I don't mean that I'm the person who like came up with this idea. I'm probably not. But I'm also new to the internet. So my first impressions of the internet, not good.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, even speaking that forced to vote shit, I actually got like multiple death threats. You know what's fucking hilarious is before I went on, it's actually two dudes that I know, very, very much practical politics at large, but they're very nice dudes. I quite like them. But I went on their thing. They had someone drop. So they were doing a debate with this guy named Franco Analysis, very much practical politics. And they had them drop out, and they messaged me like, "Hey, do you want to come on?" And I remember I was like, "Yeah, fuck it." I was like, "All right." But the question was like, "Are the squad sellouts?" And I remember I was like, "Okay, I'll just go in there and say, like, look, the question of like whether the squad sellouts is stupid as fuck, essentially." And that's sort of like kind of what I did. I may have done I'm a horrible rhetorician. But I was just like, yeah, like, I don't really care whether the squad sellout. Of course they are. If your definition of sellout is fucking like giving up your values in a political system, every politician has to do that. I think it's a weird sort of cultural fetish just to focus on that. And then I got like death threats like up the ass. Like I think I got like 6 DMs from people telling me, not like, well, some of them were death threats. A bunch of them were like, 2 of them were like telling me to kill myself. Like a bunch of them were like, you're a fucking sellout shill. I'm like, I don't even like, what the fuck is this? But no, it's blood sports, and it's I use catharsis because that's what it seems like, right? That seems like some weird existential release, right? When you can play, fucking sports with politics, right? That's what it is.
Straight to death threats.
Oh yeah, dude. I got like a couple on my Instagram. Yeah.
Did they go into detail like how they were gonna do it?
No, one was saying like a vague message of like what we do to sellouts is like, I think he was pretty much alluding that he's gonna chop my head off, like I'm the first the guillotine. I'm like, the fuck. And then
nice.
Yeah, that was on Instagram, and then there was a couple other on Twitter telling me to go kill myself, and there was even more saying that I'm like a complete sellout shill, or a sellout shill and stuff. But that was my goal, is to go into like that sort of debate sphere. My idea, and this turns out to be a terrible idea. My idea was to go take the whole stupid debate. I find it really quite nihilistic and terrible. That whole debate thing in the question whether the squad is a sellout or should we force the vote. I try to go in there and try to posit a position that like, look, this is so fucking irrelevant at large, and it did not go good. It did not go good. And then yeah, so I mean, I think I eke closer and closer and closer to your position. I think every day, but if there is some sort of concrete material reality where we can like affect what do we do? Like, I'll ask you that. Like, what, like, just to maybe pick at your position. What, like, if there is, yeah.
Before we get there, the reason you got death threats is not actually because of anything that you said
of course.
To them. It's because you stopped those people from nutting.
Yeah, no,
They're
yeah.
about to nut. They're about to nut. They were like edging, and they're like, and then you come in there and say, oh no, they're probably not sellers. So the anger at you is because you destroyed their nut, not because of anything you actually said. Because these people can't be reasoned with, of course. They're watching pornography, and their pornography is Twitch streamers canceling AOC or whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like all of, like, that's why, I mean, that really is like all of online politics. It's actually why I kind of got into theory, actually. And if anything, sort of, that's why like a lot of people, like, they're shocked to know that I'm like a political science major, but if anything, the whole political science thing has just fucking is fucking terrible. It's horrible. But I, in my way that I looked at politics, I felt like there was something very political, or at least applicable about theory of politics.
Sorry, Ian Williams, the cancel nut theory.
That's a way to put it, I suppose. Yeah, I mean, in a like a sort of Freudian way, I guess. Everything's fucking
Epoch,
sexual.
What would you do if you were trying to nut and then someone just like walked in the door and was like, "Hey, stop"? Wouldn't you like feel a death threat in your mind at least?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. A little bit.
I'm all about the empathetic interpretations here.
Sure, of course. Yeah. But no, really, like, I am interested in that, because I still come to the thing. What the fuck? Then what the fuck? Like, you know what I mean? Not that you're wrong. Like, I think someone said in chat, like, holy shit, you got a point. I figured this would be your position. I could have, whenever you said you don't talk about politics, I figured that is pretty much what you said is exactly what, and I don't like disagree at all. But I still run into a problem. What the fuck do we do? Do we do anything?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab a beer though.
Okay.
Please let me nut, boss. Your chat's funny.
My chat is pretty funny. Pretty cool. All right. So, interesting chat so far, I suppose. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, like, if I don't know. At least I take this question seriously. I don't know if Pills does, but I don't know what the fuck do you do? Because that's pretty like, that's quite I mean, if you take that position seriously, holy shit, like, everything you do, it's like that's like nihilism beyond nihilism. But that's I don't know. Then we wouldn't have to, but I'll go down and read chat. We should abandon theory and just woo. Yeah, no. That's the thing. I do get Pills' point. Yeah, well, that's something that too, like, again, that has become more increasingly like something that I sort of gotten, but I don't know. I don't have like, it's easy to make light of those positions. I don't really find to like make light of that, I suppose. That's why like a lot of like what I give a fuck about is being able to convey a lot of these ideas to people who are so fucking politically charged, but it's quite difficult. But yeah, I find a sort of hedonistic sort of like reality that's quite depressing sometimes. So like, to if the position is to do I don't know. All right, you got another beer?
Yeah. Second. because you asked a big question,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know the answer.
Yeah.
Except for what the non-answers are. So my late approach has been art in a general sense, not like visual art, but it would include music generally. It would include like craftsmanship at certain things. But it's important that you get somehow a group to do it.
Okay.
Because if you're going to, even if you read like phenomenology, sorry, I'm collecting my thoughts while sipping, but you have to look at the things that you actually have power over, and you do have power over things. It's not politics, but it's your close relationships. Maybe not your family, but your family might be part of it. But your close friends, and then the stuff that you can make, and even if that seemingly has nothing to do with politics, if you can build making stuff, collaborative projects, I'll coin it project-based politics. Even if it seemingly has nothing to do with politics, there are transferable skills that you get from working with groups that can become political. So, I mean, my example of this is my patrons don't even know this yet, but I'm planning a big collaborative project. Will anything come of it? I don't know. But what working together with people forces you to do is recognize the strengths in others that you don't have. It requires that if you recognize weaknesses in others, that you kind of pick up the slack for them. Obviously, the political extrapolation from that's pretty obvious. And that you can, unify to get to a goal. And none of this on the face of it changes who's in office. But what I think if this were more of a thing, if people thought that collaborating was important, like we're kind of collaborating now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they thought this kind of stuff was important and focused all the energy that they're spending on tweeting about AOC and tweeting about the Hollywood movies that they don't like, if people were making stuff, there would be so much more stuff. And if that were leftist branded forms, then the left would be more powerful than just a whiny voice on Twitter. So my current philosophy is get good at something and don't do it by yourself.
Okay. Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot to swallow. All right. So but if the goal is to create and there is more stuff, are you saying more like actual influential matter is created, thus it can change like the individual psyche and then the collective psyche at large, and then shit will get better?
I think the act of, like, on your first project, if you find 4 people to make a project with, the thing that you're changing by doing that project is not the world, it's yourself.
Okay.
You got to start by changing your attitude towards the world. That's what I think. And I can only say that kind of because of this YouTube channel and my patron people and streaming and doing stuff that I know I sucked at and that I'm getting better at, and sort of realizing that there's power in the mindset of having things changed. And changing your mind is not the end of the story. But realizing that there's a difference between effective agency and just reactionary agency, which is most of what commentary on politics is,
right.
Just reaction.
Yeah.
That's where I think that creation of some sort is, I don't know, and even communal support, like what Patreon is and Patreon is for, that makes me feel so much more hopeful than Twitter. I mean, you have a Patreon, you probably know what this is like, but that's where you get like sincere discussions and people that actually care about learning something from each other. That is such a positive environment relative to a Twitter environment. And that's because everybody's invested in the same thing at that point.
Right.
Which is a creative project. So I'm hoping that in the future, once you were talking about this on a different stream before, like I can't do what I want yet because I need like numbers basically.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it. But once you have numbers and you can say, okay, we have enough people that we can pursue a goal together. It's not going to be Office right now, obviously. I mean, I think we could probably get Matt McManus elected.
Probably.
How many Canadians do you think you got?
We got probably a couple Canadians, I would assume. Nah, I don't. No, Matt. Could Matt get? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
He's charismatic, friendly, all the things I'm not. But anyway, you know, it's not going to be Office right off the bat. But there's power in numbers, which is Marxism in one sentence.
Right.
There's power in numbers.
All right. Okay. Yeah. This feels very situationist a little bit, or like little. That's kind of how I'm interpreting this. But no. I think that's right. I mean, so that's sort of why, like, sort of, you know, I sort of got into the theory, but I've always tried to engage with practical politics at large, just to sort of shit on its form. But the more you do that, the less. I mean, again, you're affecting their nut. You know what I mean? So as you put it, but yeah, that's what I've noticed. There's this. It's really hard to do the whole like invade an exterior alien space and try to point out some. I don't know. That's been my project at large, my personal care. But yeah, I would like to say it works, but you know, I don't know. That may be cope. You know, I don't know.
Well, just to get personal, then has this whole project that you're doing, in what way has it changed your attitude about like what's possible in the world?
Ooh, no, I mean, I'm pretty fucking, you know, if people said you're black pilled. No, it definitely gives the I don't know. I mean, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, I would like to think that it doesn't matter if the initial surface reaction is quite bad. There's at least some nodes within that network of people that will be somewhat convinced or influenced in some way. I sort of think that's my goal, is to like look, like, shut the fuck up about what the immediate, or maybe not shut the fuck up, but understand that the immediate things that you're talking about there are deeper, larger sort of theoretical backdrops to the way you approach things, and analyzing that theoretical backdrop is quite important. And that's something that we don't do. I mean, it's like politics is purely cultural in a lot of ways, especially online. It is, like you said, it's an aesthetic endeavor where people attach themselves to an identity. The idea,
but still, man, you got 127 people into one room.
Yeah.
It's more than you could have done without the internet. So start with 127, then I don't know. I'm not telling no one what to do. I'm saying what I'm trying to do.
No, yeah, no. I feel you. That's funny though, because your initial descriptive analysis is that's pretty fucking doomerist, man. But then your take on art, that's an optimist approach, man. That's pretty optimistic, and that's good. It's at least nice, I suppose.
Like doomer is such a wrong term, because it's like either that you believe that the internet is real life, that you're changing like the systems of power, or you're a doomer. There's your either or fallacy. That's insane. You're the insane one.
Yeah.
Chat guy.
Yeah. I see Denzel, politics is one big LARP. Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This is just kind of like, it's a lot. Is there any reality? Maybe I'll ask you this, Pills, because I'm sure people are interested with this as well. I'm at least taking from at least some of my audience what they might want to ask. Is there any material organization or activism thing that is probably halfway sufficient? So for people who are politically interested, is there any like material referent to like what might be sufficient or might be okay, or is everything fucking suck on that regard?
Well, it occurs with spontaneity that you can't predict, right? Ideas don't change shit, but material conditions do change shit. And this happens with a whole bunch of like stochastic events over time. Like the Bernie thing was a stochastic event. Occupy Wall Street, stochastic event. Black Lives Matter. Obviously, it was not just random because it happened because of George Floyd, but George Floyd was not the first person to be murdered. So why did that become the event? So in each case, I don't know. I think if you had a sense of what creativity can do, and then one of those events happened, because this is what Occupy Wall Street looked like to me. It happened, whole bunch of momentum, it crashed into the wall, and no one had a fucking clue what to do. I think if you had instead Occupy Wall Street version 2, and everybody knew what to do because they've been doing stuff for a long time, then that event might be a different kind of event. And if you need a theoretical support for this, it's Alain Badiou being an event.
No, yeah. So you take the approach creativity is it? I guess that's sort of my approach too. Is the I don't know, maybe one thing that I might posit with this, then tear down the sort of ideological apparatus that's alienating to a lot of normal people and get personal. Is that sort of it? Make the political personal in a sense, and try to like tear down that sort of weird symbolism. I find political symbolism alienates far more than it actually, far more than it actually unites, quote unquote.
I don't know if I understand the question, Epoch.
Okay. No, so like it sounds like the conclusion to come from that is like then stop the fucking the sports team sort of like stop the sports team political aesthetic, right? Stop the fucking get creative with your political approach. Yeah, get creative with your symbolism, if there is symbolism, or if there is symbolism, don't make it purely political, make it deeper than that. Yeah.
Well, I'm reading Deleuze's What is Philosophy with my Discord group now, and the big theme of the opening chapter is don't criticize if you're not creating something better than the thing that you're criticizing.
Oh, I got it right here. Cool. So don't criticize unless the thing you were creating is all right. That implicates everyone, including me.
I mean, I know everybody in here is interested in this, so we can just do a little bit of a Deleuze breakdown. But Deleuze, interpreting Nietzsche, says there's active forces, reactive forces, and negative forces. And the only truly reactive force anywhere in nature is resentment. Nietzsche's ressentiment. This like sickly, it looks at the strong and tries to pull it down because it's purely reactive. And like, what is Twitter if it's not that? Hot takes versus other takes, but nobody makes anything. So I think criticism is good. It's called critical theory for a reason. And the point of critical theory is not to whine about how bad the world is. It's to make it so that your eyes, your own perception, is more capable of seeing the lies of it, the falsity, the power behind power. So you're training yourself by doing critical theory. You're not changing the world by doing critical theory. I'm not changing the world. You're not changing the world. But if a whole bunch of people are committed to a practice of being able to see things as they are instead of as they wish them to be, then I think you're actually making people aware, in a sense, that when the next thing happens, the next unpredictable thing happens, then people will know what to do, whereas they didn't in, Occupy Wall Street.
Interesting. Okay. This is a lot of pills. This is some 300 IQ shit. I don't know why. I don't know why you. Well, okay. Here, I do understand why. I'm just curious. I'm just curious to see what would happen if you went on some Debate Bro stream and you said this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to subject you to that. I'm just so curious. Like, if
they
that
wouldn't invite me, and I wouldn't go. Probably.
Gotcha. Because in my mind, this is you're saying a lot of things much more presciently than what I would be able to convey. So, like, in that sense, like, shit, I feel like people should probably hear that. Yeah, don't you think? Or is that too positive?
Well, I'm saying it on here. You should link it.
All right.
Tell your chat to link it.
All right, guys. That you guys heard the man. Go link it. All right, dude. Well, shit. I don't know. That's that's sort of my problem. I've just never. I think we're habitual beings. It's hard to escape that sort of habit. There is set dialogue in your mind for like political discussion, and it's, I suppose, even if there is insufficiencies, there's still a lot of gray area. And I think getting in that gray area, at least where you are, what you're describing, like that's some scary shit, man. But so is all psychoanalysis, I guess.
Can chat tell me? Chat keeps putting like pill behind everything, and that's not a reference to me. Is that like the Matrix reference? When they're like, take the Epicurious pill, take the grill pill. They keep saying that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I see big brain hours, unism. Yo, he must read books. Take the plastic pill. Yeah, no. It sounds like you got your own pill going, dude. Instead of canceling.
Everything's a pill on the internet. Thanks. Paranoid pill.
Yeah, everything is over medicating.
No, the pill meme started with the Matrix, John Can, when you were probably 4 years old.
So Zanny, break into people's feedback loops with art, then give them new place to land / re-territorialize. Yeah. That's very much Deleuze. Yeah.
Which one?
Miles Jeffers. I asked that because I haven't read a lot of Deleuze.
Well, just in case you decide, you gotta say it Deleuze, because Deleuze means you're a noob.
Deleuze. So that's how you really say
Yeah.
it? Deleuze. Shit. Okay. I mispronounce names all the time, so whatever. Fuck. Yeah, I'll do that though. Deleuze. So if
and it's not Guattari, it's Guattari.
Guattari. All right.
You got to get some beer in your throat so you can say the R's properly. Baudrillard.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the Frenchman, man, or at least your proximity to French people is much closer than I. So I'll take your word for it, man.
No, they're all fake French people here. Les habitants.
Yeah.
The French disown them.
Oh yeah. Is that like a cool thing? Is that the intellectual thing? If you know how to speak French in Canada, are you a little bit above?
No, they make you learn French.
What, you have to know fucking French to? Well, I know if you want to do public service, yeah, but is it pretty common?
No, you have to take French in school.
Yeah, but do they know actually how to speak it?
We can try.
Yeah, okay. That's what I was wondering. I was like, so the people who can, because we don't have that, like, I guess depending on where you are, right? you know, in the United States, the Southwest, like Spanish is much more common, but you know, in the Midwest, it is like not like we don't have like any sort of like weird. Everyone speaks English, and that's it.
They speak American.
Exactly. Yeah. So I was gonna ask you. So okay, I've actually asked this. People have asked me this in chat too. What? Okay, who is the most relevant theorist? And especially in the sense of like, you know, I mean, theorists do different shit, right? But like, say this weird social malaise that we're in, or like whatever this weird shit that's going on. Who's the most relevant theorist to pursue? Jordan Peterson.
Yeah, if you're low T and you're cucked, then you got to read that Jordan Peterson.
Bucko. Oh, have you seen the video of him in a fucking fedora in the black suit talking about? Did you see that?
I have not seen or heard from Jordan Peterson for a long time. Matt's writing a review of his book, but yo, Jordan Peterson's house, like I could hit it with a rock if I could throw far enough. It's pretty close to where I'm at.
Oh shit.
I don't know exactly the house, just the neighborhood, but
Okay.
if you want to send him anything, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I'm inciting violence on the internet. Don't.
No,
No, relevant theorist is so impossible to answer, obviously, because
Right.
it's like, do you want to answer the question of how we got here? Do you want to ask the question of where we're going or where you want to go? Or do you want to ask a metaphysical question? Or do you want to ask like a political question?
right.
So, I mean, the answer that I can give that people wouldn't expect, I think, is Max Weber.
Ooh. Okay.
I think Max Weber gets like what culture is in the sense that, not the sense that we really use it like movies and music and things like that, but Max Weber understands like we're on this crest of a wave from religious to post-religious society, and everything that takes its place is just functional. It's just functionaries, you know. Professional knowledge just replaces every other type of knowledge that could possibly exist in a society. What used to be called like, I don't know, totemic knowledge or understanding of dreams, what we would call religion, basically. Just the way that one switches to the other, but there's still pieces of, you know, our religious faith left in the way we treat celebrities, for example. Best example of how everyone knows everything about celebrities. They know they're not special, but there's nothing you can do to stop yourself from treating them like they're special. Which is so weird, because that's the definition of religion, when everybody knows it's false and still does it anyway. Or, you know, not knows it's false, but... So, if it's relevance to get the sense of loss, like Max Weber is really up there. But if you just want to look around the world and be like, everything is porn, then Baudrillard, of course.
That that sounds right. The Weber one, that's interesting. I don't know. I've had a lot of people ask me that personally, and then I've literally had people ask me who's like, do you know who Pills is like recommendation for like ultimate theorist and shit? And that's in my chat. So I think you're a popular character, dude. I think people want to hear from you. The Weber answers, I didn't expect that. That's actually really cool. But I haven't read a lot of Weber. I took a sociology class, and obviously every intro sociology class is Weber. But that's damn, okay. All right. I think I gotta read him now.
Like this is why you can call these guys geniuses. I think correctly, is because they live at these shifts, and to really understand a shift, you have to live at the shift. So, you know, Marx, genius, but he also lived exactly at the shift that he needed to live at to be able to write about what was happening.
Yeah.
And Weber's like that. Weber's living at the exact crux of when secular or religious authority becomes secular authority in like the early 20th century. So yeah, these and the problem is like we wouldn't know who today is writing that book if that book can ever be written again, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. I
so that
find
person
that
might be writing. It might be I don't know. It might be Zizek. You wouldn't know though.
Right. Correct. I find that a little bit with people like I mean, I find that with like Baudrillard for sure when he wrote at that time, and then even Jameson. I find that a lot with Jameson as well. It feels presciently in its time for what was going on.
And this is kind of what I hate about well, not hate, but Derrida is probably my favorite author to like follow his train and like pick up a book and see what he's saying on this day and that day. But Derrida is so irrelevant because nobody reads these long books anymore. What he did was very careful, close, observant reading, breaking down the meanings, and nobody can even be bothered to pick up a book anymore. So that's why I would say, like, despite the fact that Derrida is much smarter than someone like Baudrillard, Baudrillard is far more relevant, and that happens to be kind of accidental. But Baudrillard picked up on like what is happening with what we call culture, what we call this aesthetic wash. So that's why like reading his books from 1982 feels like he wrote it yesterday. Whereas Derrida is like, I'm going to break down Hegel in a book and then like write in the margins and have half of the book be a footnote, and you wouldn't really get the relevance of it, I think.
Interesting. Okay, so you're saying there's So I think I might be a little bit peanut brain here. There's more of like a relevance with Derrida that spans far more than just time. Yeah, because like rather than someone like Baudrillard or Marx or but Derrida, it's like
No, I think Derrida doesn't speak to our time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Derrida speaks to a literate age, and our age is generally illiterate. So
Correct.
he kind of like polished off Western philosophy, but people today who are walking around don't even know like that Western philosophy even existed. So you don't need a critique of something that you don't even know exists.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. I find that gives me that's very and it might be because I'm reading him right now, but Mark Fisher vibes. A lot of like I feel like at least Fisher is sort of the recognition in like post literacy, right? Or at least like an age where there is like I don't know, like an age where there is like reference to stuff, and I suppose I don't know, like that's interesting. Yeah.
Like Mark Fisher, I know you got a kind of a boner for him.
I do.
Which is cool, but Mark Fisher I would call him, we don't have words for these different things, but he's an articulator. Like
right.
He says the thing that everybody's feeling, and he didn't really, you wouldn't call him like basically he just said everything that Jameson said, except he said it non-academically and said he like look at Nirvana and whatever. So there's you need those people that can articulate the state of an age in a way that's relevant, and then you need the people that are looking like 100 years in the future, like Nietzsche was. Nietzsche knew that he was too. That's very rare that happens, that someone is aware that their historical third eye is open while they're writing.
That's scary. That I wonder what you think, like if Nietzsche is relevant. What do you think about that's a big question too that I've always thought like, all right, to map the future, I can't shake the thing like sort of like now it's like cyberpunk hedonism shit, right? Like I don't know, I think that's like, isn't that sort of like Nick Land's thing? Like Nick Land is sort of saying that like that's pretty much like all future is going to be is like weird AI shit and like absolute destitution and shit. And I guess Nietzsche's project was more like weird nihilism, but you know.
Nietzsche was very opposed to nihilism.
No. Yeah. No. That's but that, I think he foresaw like an age of like the last man and fucking like an overflow of like self-aggrandment and shit. Yeah. But that leads to sort of like a nihilism, yeah.
Well, the last man is nihilistic in that
Yeah.
he only cares for health and survival. But yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, interesting. Okay, this is a lot to unpack. What do you? All right. Well, shit. I don't know. I don't even know what to ask you. That's some big brain stuff, dude. You're breaking my brain. I gotta say. I guess we can.
Well, we could call it a stream, and I could just come back later. It's not like I do anything on Friday.
All right. All right. Well, you know, if that's it, I think we've been going for like an hour 30. I feel like I wanted to be able to you know, if we were gonna do a stream, I wanted to talk a little bit about what you think. You don't talk a lot about what you think, you know? Like you don't. I don't know if you noticed that. You probably haven't. But I know a lot of other people have noticed it, myself included, and I say that from chat. But you are a describer.
Well, the side effect of being overeducated is that you realize how stupid you are relatively. So there's not really a point in me giving any of my opinions when I could just give opinions that are like tried and true. So I did a little bit today by saying project-based politics might be the thing that I'm pushing for. It's obviously not it's based on philosophy still in that sense. But yeah, I'm very self-aware of how relatively intelligent I am, and when I could explain Deleuze instead of saying what I think, then I will choose Deleuze 100% of the time.
I think that's some real humility in an age of sort of symbolic narcissism, you know? Gotta say. But then also it's kind of a cliche to say that in the end anyways, you know, so whatever. But all right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming on for sure. We'll definitely have to do this again or do whatever. Maybe we can find, because I figured this is gonna, you know, this is your first time on here. I figured we'd sort of do some like a little you stuff on what you think, because I noticed you've never done that. Obviously, I don't know if you've probably avoided that on purpose, but we could probably go into like, if we ever wanted to collab again, we could probably go into something more structured, because all my streams are really fucking laid back, so it would take a little bit of work to structure out what we may do. But yeah, I appreciate you coming on, dude. All
right. Thanks very much.
All right.
If you guys are not on the Pill Pod yet, get on it. It's free. Yeah. At least it's like 65% free.
Gotcha. Yeah, no. I'm pretty sure I think you're the only person I haven't gone out on a whim to totally, and I apologize. But I haven't gone out on a whim because I think everyone here knows I'm pretty sure our audience, like my audience, is pretty much like your audience, like just about 100%. So, but yeah, I don't know. I apologize if this was, I apologize on my end if I wasn't able to respond to a lot of what you said, because you actually did, at least I haven't thought about how to respond to those certain ideas, right? And I hope that this wasn't too peanut brain on my end. So
I don't even know what that means. Is that a meme?
It means I'm a fucking idiot, and I hope I was able to facilitate.
Between your questions and my beers, you unlocked the rant zone, which I can very rarely get to because I veil my passion most of the time, you know?
Yeah.
But then when you get the passion out, then I feel like I'm saying something and I actually believe in it.
Is that how you felt?
Doesn't happen all the time. I said some stuff around the middle.
You did say some stuff. I did it, guys. I got mission successful, I suppose, in some sense. Although I obviously don't want to. I don't want to make you uncomfortable at all. But yeah, dude. Let's definitely do something again. We can maybe talk. We could maybe set something up, talk about a certain theorist, or something like that. I figured I could do like a more structured stream or something like that, make content out of it. So, but dude, yeah.
I gotta reiterate though, I don't know what peanut brain means. If that means you're.
Oh no! It's like I was just mocking myself.
Yeah, you're probably being hard on yourself.
Okay.
This is something that's been in my mind, so I've already argued with myself about it. So
gotcha.
I think it would be pretty awkward for me to just dump it on you and have you have a ready response. So
gotcha. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. So, okay, man. Yeah, it was nice having you on. I'm probably gonna, I'll probably finish up the stream on our end, but dude, I really do appreciate it. Seriously, this is like the most requested stream or guest so far. So you win.
I hope it worked.
Yeah, no,
chat, did it work?
I think it did. I think everyone enjoyed. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, get those Zoomer lingos.
All right, man. Take it easy, dude.
Okay, wait. So do I sign out or do you got to kick me?
I'll probably just leave the call on my end and then we will go from there. So,
all right, man. Good luck with the rest of the stream.
All right, thanks.
And dude, everybody, you got to pay this guy. And after you're done paying him,
then go pay him.
Pay me.
All right, dude. I'll see you, man.
All right, peace.
All right, thank you so much, David. I appreciate that. Appreciate that a ton. Thank you, David. It worked. All right, thank you, guys. I was a little bit. That's what I was. I think that's something that I definitely wanted to have Pills on, but I knew that if we were to do this, it was going to get galaxy brainy real quick, but not in like a cliche galaxy brainy, right? Like Pills is obviously super fucking smart. I think he said is like the point of being, overeducated is to understand your like stupidness or whatever. But I think Pills is able to, better than just about most people. I think, of course, he undersells himself. He's able to, I think Pills, the way at least he functions, at least whenever you talk to him and you can get him to talk about shit, he sounds like a critical theorist at heart. So at least someone who he's able to accurately depict what is, and typical critical theory and all of its sort of humbleness or whatever, you don't have a solution all the time, right? You guys really, I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. I figured I was a little bit scared. I felt like if you were going to talk to someone like Pills, who doesn't talk a lot about sort of like, I want to say personal prescriptive points. I feel like you're gonna have to be able to do a good job facilitating that. You're a good articulator too when you do your vids. I appreciate that. Thank you. He was an intense man. I feel he is judging me if I don't read a super stack of difficult a little bit. I want Pills to write a book. I don't so I'm not a grad student, and I forget that typically having people who have done like thesis work or done grad work, it's a really toxic environment in the sense that really you can get your sort of ideas stolen real fast. It happens all the time. And I remember asking, I was like, dude, you should do a video on like what you're, blah, 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 blah. He says, I think he says he wants to get it. I believe we had a conversation. He's like, oh, if I can get it published or this and this and that, or he's going to make a video with it. But I agree. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say is like, I would like to see Pills. I would like to see Pills at least put something out into sort of a published work. I mean, I don't know though. I suppose in due time. I don't have too many ideas myself, right? I more or less consider what what I do or what this is sort of like I consider myself more than anything right now just sort of like a weird like intellectual historian, I suppose. I enjoy being able to I enjoy being able to like look at like I try to understand like what certain theorists and what people were saying, rather than actually doing the philosophizing or fucking theorizing. I don't know if I'm definitely not quite there. I have some ideas though. I think we've talked about historian of ideas. That's right. And I'm literally like that's my degree. I'm political science and history major. But Pills gets a bit too sophisticated sometimes. Well, it's hard not to, like like if you're gonna try it, like because that's that's sort of what is, and you kind of can't escape that if you want to do things justice, there's like I think like we were saying earlier, right? The typical Jimmy Dore type. I'm not. It's not even just Jimmy Dore. I say Jimmy Dore a lot, but the typical political. He is just the most prescient visualization of this, of just yelling at a screen, right? Of this sort of like weird reverse hedonism where it's like again, probably the best way to describe that is just political jouissance. It's an oversimplification and bastardization of what's going on for pleasure's sake. It might be a way to put it. But if you really want, I think to like think critically, like you can't, like there's a lot of weird ways that can come about, and it's convoluted and it's messy, and it's impossible not to completely get like that. Sometimes I try to hold myself back with that, but it can be tough. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed. This is the one that I was definitely looking forward to most. Yeah. I was really looking forward to this one. Love the stream. Thank you, Linux. Thank you for always being here. I appreciate it. Jimmy Dore just cornered the market on the liberal rant. So it's like, this is the problem, right? It's not even like a personal thing. It's not Jimmy Dore. I use that because he is a perfect visualization, right? It's not to say that like, because it can be really quick to shit on people like this, right? And that's not like the goal, right? We personalize things really quick, right? So even people who are concerned with the same shit Jimmy Dore goes about, typically it's a personal indictment of Jimmy Dore when they talk about it. That's not what it is. It's the form of what happens is sort of the problem, right? And then if you're being honest, then that's something that indicts just about all sort of practical political discussion, right? Again, I think truly, I do agree with this. It's like, look, if there's one thing we can take away from psychoanalysis, it's that like a lot of the times you don't do what you're actually doing, or matter of fact, like you never really do, right? Like what you think you're doing is not what you're actually doing in reality, and it's not how people are perceiving certain things, and that's sort of like the entire political ball game, at least where the online consumption of politics goes. So yeah, that's kind of where my that's where like sort of my head is at, is like because I came from a very political background. I've always been interested in politics. I have a feeling, I would imagine Pills didn't actually come from that perspective. I think that's right. Pills came from like an artistic perspective, right? I think he was maybe an artist first. That's the vibe I get. I don't know. I think he may have said that before in a video. I don't know. I sort of come from like a political background, and so I'm interested in all of its insufficiencies. And theory does a good job. Critical theory does a good job at sort of elaborating on those insufficiencies. I suppose my project is trying to figure out how the fuck we can sort of express the insufficiencies of political discourse, the form of it, right? Like I said before, I kind of got strike number one when I went on the Vanguard, and I tried to essentially say that I tried to critique the form in which things were happening through the lens of practical politics rather than the content of it. Like, why the fuck? I don't want to talk about fucking AOC, but then you get in the middle of their jouissance, right? Yeah. I think we all do things beyond our own conception. Yeah, for sure, especially when we work in groups. I think that's a good point. That's something I took. I never completely thought about that. I don't know if anyone that may be unique to Pills. I was trying to get him to open up maybe a little bit. Obviously I didn't want to make him uncomfortable. It's the last thing I want to do. I hope I but I did what I was hoping to see a little bit of like Pills himself come out. But I think we did a good job. I hope that it was a good stream. Descartes sounded like a complete idiot to me when I first read him this year. He made sense to me as a builder of a metaphysical system. Yeah. I'm actually about to I saw who was this? Was this David? And I apologize, my friend, if where I saw a question. Someone asked me a question. Does this get archived? Benzer, absolutely. You do not have to worry about this whatsoever. This will get archived. No problem. Eventually I'll have to unlist it. Typically having streams on your main YouTube channel. I've heard from the analytical standpoint, it can hurt video performance. So what I do is I leave my streams up for about a week or so, and then I'll put them to unlisted, and I usually allow people to view them in unlisted form through like Patreon or YouTube membership. I don't do that actually for just pure monetization. One of the biggest I've had a couple of people like, oh, so you're just trying to suck up like your VOD shit. No. That's actually really not I wouldn't actually put that behind a paywall. Part of the biggest problem for me is that like a lot of streamers, they're big enough where they pay someone to do the streaming editing. Well, I'm editing videos. I make videos and then I do the streams. I just don't have enough manpower like myself. I couldn't make a second channel, I don't think, and manage that and make clips and put the videos up. I don't think I could quite, or at least I'm not comfortable doing that right now, right? I'm a student and then I'm doing this and this takes a long time. So it's more or less like a manpower. I don't have the money to fucking buy a video editor and then pay him what would be more than reasonable. I don't, Can you maybe move the archived streams? Yeah. I think not sure if it's no. I think when I'm done with school, I can go to the drawing board. This spring, when I'm done with school, I can go to the drawing board. I can think about what we can do, how we can do things a little bit better. If I can add to the channel, the project as a whole, what we are doing. But it's a big up in the air. For right now, I'm going to have to keep it the way it is, and I'm sorry to say that. A super cut of the best bits of the stream would be nice. A lot of work though. It's a bit of work for sure. On top of doing actual video editing, or on top of actually making videos, it's all fucking lot of work, man. Yeah. But a world to win. Darn, I missed most of this. I'll have to watch the VOD. Yeah, no problem. We were just talking about that, two of my favorite theory channels. I appreciate that. Thank you. No, Pills is like arguably my favorite YouTube channel for sure. I think sometimes people, a lot of people don't realize I'm actually like, I'm an actual fan, for sure. I suppose in some respects we're sort of peers, although he's way more well-read than me. Not even fucking close. But I suppose in the YouTube sphere we're sort of peers, but I'm an actual fan. But yeah, so yeah. I'm glad it worked, according to chat. I was a little bit nervous, but yeah. So, guys, I appreciate it so much. I think I'll probably get off. We've been going for about an hour 45 minutes. I feel like that was a good and successful stream. Well, I enjoy the channel very much as it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate that a ton. So yeah, I think before we go, I think I have I'm working on sort of like an exclusive video. I think I'm going to do a little exclusive video because it is such a small little piece of text, relatively speaking. Marx's theses on Feuerbach. I figured that would be a good little sort of Patreon exclusive or something like that. Little exclusive content, little tidbit. I think I'll get that done soon. I'm working on our next video as we speak. And I think from there, I think this next video we do, guys, I don't do this very often. I usually make text-based videos. But I think what we will do is, I think I'm going to make an actual video essay, a little bit different. I do that sometimes, right? The last one I made was over Cyberpunk, but I'm interested in making a video sort of about, like, in a weird way, like happiness, and sort of like a commodification of happiness and, you know, weird late neoliberal capitalism. There's some stuff there that I haven't seen anyone on YouTube make. I'm going to make a little bit of a video essay. This will kind of be, I suppose, maybe my weird idea, a little bit of a synthesis of some stuff I've read or stuff like that. Essentially, I don't know. I think our ideas around, like, happiness are quite baked. Like, they're half baked. They're quite surface level. I like the idea that happiness is pretty much just sold and packaged. Like, there is no human happiness. It's not. It's almost irrelevant in a way. And even people like Zizek have pointed out for political projects, happiness isn't a good guideline. Even our conception of happiness is baked within a commodified system. It's, you know, it's a thing, an idea sold to you in a way, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'll make a video on that, and then I think after that, I feel like it's a perfect segue. I'm making a video on Mark Fisher's Ghost of My Life. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, guys, big thank you. It's crazy. I think we have 88 concurrent viewers right now, or 93. That's cool on its own. Nonetheless, that I even have an audience to stream to make videos that watches. Again, truly, it is a complete honor. I really is. Like, it's a pretty big deal to me. I'm just a weird, I suppose, fucking blue collar kid from fucking middle of nowhere, fucking America. But yeah, so I will see you guys later. If you guys want, I always give the spiel. Patreon, get early access, some exclusive content. You get put in the credits depending on the tiers. Like to offer some stuff you get to vote on future videos. You could do all of that in the YouTube member section as well. Helps this channel survive. I wouldn't be able to do it without any of you guys over there. So I really appreciate it. And then ultimately, before we go as well, I want to give a big shout out to people who donated. We have David with a ton of donations. Thank you so much. Raz Hell for the $15 in super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. And Agalos Vasilis. Let's see if I pronounced that right. Thank you guys so much for the donations. This was a really fun stream. I really enjoyed it. I will see you guys later, and take care.